Greetings, beloved light warriors. It's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning May 31st through June the 6th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel, I do this every Sunday so we can reset our focus and our energy for the coming week ahead. And then I do my on-camera videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, let us get into this new week of the beginning of June. So this card says, big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. This is so wonderful for the beginning of June because I think June is just a really powerful month of transition, and it is an opening. And if you look at the image on the card, you can see that gateway, which signifies an opening. We have an opening this week so that we can step into who we really are. Now, I know we hear that all the time, we say that all the time, but I feel that it is time to actually make that real in our everyday lives, because so much of our lives are oriented in this old controller's agenda, this very dysfunctional slave system of reality. We tend to be so oriented in that because historically that's really all that we as a collective humanity have ever known on this planet. So we are being challenged right now, but we're being challenged in a powerful, beautiful way. I mean, you know, sometimes challenges are very exhilarating, they're very exciting, and I really think that's what we're looking at right now. So, big picture thinking, I talk about this all the time. As you know, if you've been following me, I refer to it as an extraterrestrial perspective, meaning if you really want to get perspective on this planet Earth, you need to step back. You need to not see yourself as a part of everything that's wrong here or as being involved inside of everything that's wrong here. You can actually step back. And I think that's what we need to do. Those of us who have come here to help as light workers, as starseeds, wayshowers, and even so many people who are waking up, we need to step back and live from that bigger picture. See, there's nothing stopping us from doing this, but we tend to live as though there is something stopping us. So if you think about it this way, if you look around you in life on this earth, all we see is the programmed reality. And then if we try to base our ascension or how we're going to help or any of it on this pre-established programmed reality, we're going to be very limited. We're likely to feel very stuck, maybe even discouraged. But all we really have to do is just step back. We are very powerful beings. Our consciousness is incredibly powerful. It's nothing for us to step away from the planet in our consciousness. We can do it in a moment. So you step back, you say, you're not, see, here's the thing, you guys. We came here to help. We didn't come here to become a part of everything that's wrong here, okay? That perspective alone is going to free you. Now, I want to look at the three words at the bottom under big picture thinking. It says Pleiades energy. What I'm going to say about the Pleiades is I'm not going to really get into specifics on that. I'm certainly not an expert on the Pleiades. My orientation is really interuniversal. It's not so much interstellar or interplanetary. It's more interuniversal. But I want to suggest, I have a feeling there's probably a number of you guys listening that this has a special meaning for. So I encourage you, if you are connected to the Pleiades, if you feel a special affinity for that part of the universe, I encourage you to see, just intuit, what does this mean for you personally? Because I'm certain this must have a very profound personal meaning for anyone who feels a connection to that area of the cosmos. Okay, so what I will say about the Pleiades is I always kind of associate that with an energy that is very loving and gentle and beautiful and just clear and enlightened, and certainly a higher level of consciousness. I have a certain I don't know if my words are really describing the feeling of the energy, but we can take that part and say that when we step away from this planet, we start to move into those higher dimensions of reality, those higher levels of consciousness, where those types of things are very natural to us as a humanity, as human beings. And I want to add one more thing about being human. Being human is not just an earth-based situation. There are human beings all over the cosmos and certainly around throughout this galaxy, but we're not all the same. Human doesn't mean you're all exactly the same. It means you have, we can say we're a galactic humanity. We're not connected to our galactic origins, are we? But we can be. Now is our time to live as a galactic human. Doesn't that sound wonderful? To live as a galactic human. And I think this message is inviting us to do exactly that. So the second word at the bottom of the card is visionary. And then the third word is inspired ideas. So much about this message to me just speaks to me about why we came here as lightworkers, as starseeds, to really become exceedingly clear about that mission and that purpose and what we're all doing here. So we want to think about being here as visionaries who live from an inspired place. Now think about if you put all these things together. You step back, you live from a big picture perspective. You live from what I call extraterrestrial, which means beyond the earth. You live from that place, which means you are not immersed in all of Earth's problems. We did not come here to become a part of Earth's problems, right? So you have that big picture perspective. Then you live as a visionary. You can look at everything happening on this planet. And I think it's important to be very aware of what's happening on the planet. See, we can have it all, guys, we can have it all. It's not like, oh, well, you know, if you're thinking about all the troubles on Earth, you're not able to be in a high vibrational state. Well, of course you are. Of course you can have a high vibration looking at the troubles on this planet. I mean, you came here to see what is going on, to see what is wrong here. What can I do to help? That doesn't lower your vibration. What lowers your vibration is when you become immersed in the problem and you consider yourself to be part of that problem itself. You know, and problem referring to all the junk going on that's wrong here. But when you have the big picture perspective, you have removed yourself from the fear. You've removed yourself from all of the reactive modes of survival, let's say. You've removed yourself from being programmed. You become very crystal clear. You can see with peace and calm, sort of like what I was saying, the Pleiades remind me of that vibration of calmness and peace and beauty and love. You can see it from that space. And when you're in that space, you're more relaxed. You're connected to a much higher power. And that's when the inspired ideas flow. See, we want to be able to look at the situation on this earth from a place of calm, from a place of clarity, from a place of never forgetting who we really are. Now, here's another beautiful thing I want to add to this. I know we all have the experience, you know, you're born on planet Earth, you forget who you really are. Okay, yes, that is true. However, right now, look at this gateway. Look at this doorway in this image. This doorway to me represents a powerful paradigm shift. It's an opportunity. You know, if you think of a doorway, what is a doorway? An open door exists as an opportunity to enter a new space, to enter a different realm, to enter into a much higher, more expanded paradigm of consciousness. So, yeah, I was going to go somewhere else with that, but that's okay. Let me just focus on that experience of going through that doorway and having that paradigm shift. Oh, I know what was coming to me. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a moment. What I was getting is that right now we have a powerful opportunity to it's not just remember who we are, like it's sort of like a brain kind of memory. Now this is crazy, guys, but it's true. Remembering who you are has nothing whatsoever to do with your brain. It has nothing whatsoever to do with your everyday mental functions. If you try to remember from that place, it's not going to be there, okay? Because that's not where that is. It's not even actually accurate to say it's remembering who you are. You want to know what's accurate? What's accurate is to say knowing who you are. So we're talking about restoring clear experiential knowledge of oneself. That is not really a stretch when we're in this massive ascension energy, because we have a huge amount of support for that. So we're talking about opening ourselves. If you guys hear that noise, there's a big thunderstorm about to hit here. We're talking about opening ourselves to the knowledge that we already have inside of us. Think about this, guys. It's so funny to think that we can't connect with who we really are when who we really are is who we really are. It's inside of us. It's our consciousness. It's us. The only thing that causes confusion about that is identifying with your social role, your political role, your whatever role in terms of the comings and goings on the surface of this planet. If you can just step aside from that for a moment, come back into your inner self, your pure consciousness, you immediately feel who you really are. So I think this message is encouraging us to step into that once and for all, whether through meditation, through just opening up, through awareness, and living from that place. And finally, leaving the intimidating environment that is being projected upon us by the controllers of this planet, by the media. All of those forces trying to intimidate us and keep us very, very small. We came here to be galactic warriors of light. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And interestingly enough, this deck that I'm using is the Starseed deck by Rebecca Campbell. If you guys ever want to know the decks I'm using, I always put it in the description. So if you're ever curious which deck I'm using, just go to the description and it'll be there. But this is a Starseed deck, and this is what I was motivated to, inspired to choose today. And it's perfect. It's perfect because June is the month for us to be who we really are. June is the month for us to think intelligently at a much higher cosmic level. We're so close, you guys. This is not far away. This is just like so close. And the energy is there for us right now to step into that full presence of our galactic, intergalactic, interstellar, interdimensional, multidimensional self, however you want to describe it. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So because we're going into June this coming week, the beginning of June, I want to suggest that we all enter this new month awake, aware, clear, and fully conscious. There's nothing stopping us. I'll mention one final thing. The only thing that can stop you from feeling fully conscious is if you try to filter the universe and the planet Earth, if you try to filter it through the ego, the false identity, all of those false selves that you maybe have been told you have to live through for your entire life, all you have to do is just step aside and say, I'm not going to filter my reality through all that stuff. Maybe it's there, but I don't have to filter reality through it. And then you find yourself in a place of tremendous clarity and peace and light and love and just calm, an amazing feeling of calm. Okay, so if you look at the bottom of this picture, it looks like a calm lake. So yeah, a calm lake. Water is generally indicates emotions. So it would mean that your emotions are calm as you step toward that portal, that opening, that gateway, that doorway to a higher, oh, that was a huge thunder. I don't know if you guys heard that. Toward a higher, more expanded level of consciousness and self. Okay, so I think that's it for now, and I'm wishing you guys a beautiful, beautiful, very powerful week ahead. And I'm sending you all so much love, so much light, and let's keep our vibration high, yes, but let's also expand our consciousness, our sense of self, and who we really are. Okay, so have a beautiful week, everyone. Much love. Namaste.